right down from your belly. So get in here, you half a queer. It's time for Calta and Kelly.
And this is for you. This is for all of you. Welcome, everybody on Patreon. Thanks for being a member. We're supposed to read names tonight. We forgot to read the names.
I wouldn't say we forgot. That's your job.
Well, it's not my job. It's the producer's job to remind me. It's him. His mic's off, though. He forgot to turn his mic on.
No, there's a fan behind me. I just didn't want to blow in the thing. I'm sorry.
You don't have a fan.
I got a fan blowing me here, too. Her name is Sheila.
Ugh. Just do a fucking...
You have the email, right, Bobby? I sent it to both of you.
I'm going to email your face. Yeah, I got the email.
Cool.
I've got the email. Welcome, man. Shut up.
Are you in a good mood today?
What? No, I'm in a great mood today.
You seem like it.
I'm in a great mood. We have an awesome guest I'm excited about tonight, tomorrow night, and I got another one on Saturday, baby. Should I make the announcement now?
Saturday's going to be a special Saturday because I'll be live from the beach.
Well, I got a very special guest for Saturday night.
All right. I'm dying to
Want
know.
me to tell you?
Yeah.
We got Ron Bennington tonight. Last night, Justin Stangl. Tonight, Ron Bennington. Tomorrow, Michael Che. Saturday night, Dave Attell. Home.
Oh.
What's up? Coming to the jerk off party Saturday night.
What's that like when you ask Dave Attell? Because I imagine he goes, all right. I mean, yeah, I guess I can do it.
One of the nicest guys.
Oh,
ever.
He's super nice.
Just one of the sweetest guys in the world.
When I was doing afternoons and he was doing the Gong Show, he was coming to town, and we've had him on before. He was great. And I booked him to come on, and I set up a Gong Show in the studio for him, stupid listener tricks for him to do. Yeah. And he canceled because they sold out. No, it gets better. It canceled because they sold out. And I sent him an email, and I was like, oh, I'm really disappointed because I was looking forward to seeing you. We had such a good show last time. And he was like, oh, I didn't realize. He's like, I'll be there. And he fucking came in anyway. That's why, and that was 10 years ago. That's why forever I will do anything Dave Attell needs to do. And Sebastian Maniscalco could eat a fat cock.
Wow.
Why?
Because he couldn't sell out side splitters. He was on my show 5 fucking times over the years because he couldn't put half the amount of seats in a fucking 300 seater. And all of a sudden he hit the fucking guinea lottery, and he's got it, and he's got an act, and he's like, I can't come in, but I can call you. Who the fuck wants to talk to you on the phone? Then his publicist begged me to put him on because he had a New Year's Eve show that wasn't selling shit tickets, and I was off 2 weeks before New Year's Eve. Please, anything you need, Sebastian will tell you. You want to come backstage? I'm like, I don't want to fucking come backstage. And I was like, all right, I'll do it because the publicist had other clients and was good to me. Oh, bro, I would come in. I love you. And yeah, it's just been, I'm not in town. Fuck off. Fuck the fuck off. You and stupid Vic DiBitetto, who I have no reason to hate other than I hate his face.
Why do you hate Vic DiBitetto?
Ma, the bread, the milk. Fuck off. That stuff makes me so mad. No, I'm in a great mood.
Why? Why? But why Vic Deep? What's his name?
DiBitetto.
DiBitetto.
Deep douchebag.
Why is he a douchebag? He's never done anything to you.
No, yes, he did. You know what he disgraced Italians like that with that whole ma, the wind and the milk and the fucking funny. It's not funny.
The wind and the milk.
Just sitting in your car alone like an old man fucking screaming. Guy what was he driving buses before this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I bet he's trying to bang 19-year-olds. I don't know the guy. I'm making that up, but I just know that I fucking hate him.
You're really character assassinating this fucking old cocksucker.
I just know.
He made it in his 50s.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a mistake.
Why is that? I'm 50. I'm trying to make it.
You've made it.
I'll do the fucking wind and the pasta. I'll fucking the wind and the pasta and the fucking ma. You shut the dog up.
Yeah, the face is what gets me. The face is what makes me want to like a guy. I hope he has a stroke and he gets stuck that way.
You don't like a thing.
No,
You
some
don't
people
like
have a
when
thing I
comics
like.
do a thing.
Emo Phillips is funny. Emo Phillips has got a thing.
Yeah, but I'm talking about one thing. You don't like that thing.
I don't like his picture. His press shot. Fucking
has he
gross.
ever done anything to you?
Never. He's probably the sweetest guy in the world. I don't bash him. I don't say he's not funny. I don't say go see him. I just a personal thing and it annoys the shit out of me.
I got a great compliment about the show today.
Sometimes just be a funny bus driver. That's good enough. Hey, that bus driver sure is nice. Give him a tip for Christmas. I'm sorry.
No, you want to go down? We're not done. Let's get done. You know what? I guess we are done.
My sanitation guy told me.
Hang on, we got Ronnie Bennington coming in right now.
Oh, look at it! Look at it in the background. I'll fucking kick him right in the side of his face.
Who, me?
No, look behind Mush. Oh,
why don't you like? How do you not like that guy?
What is there to like about his jolly old face?
I don't like somebody until they do something I don't like.
That's a face cunt, is what that is. You're a face cunt.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. He's not, come on.
You motherfucker. I hate that guy.
I mean, Ronnie, push the video button. Ronnie, there's it looks like a video camera. Hit that button. If you can. There he is.
Coming slow.
He's coming in.
Hey,
there he is.
What's happening, guys?
There's the man. Oh, he's on a microphone. He's all set to go.
There's the man. That's a great introduction, Bobby. I really appreciate it. I always said Bobby should be the host, not the guest, because there's the man.
Well, I was going to say
phenomenal.
I apologize because I was going to go, there's the man, the myth, the legend. But then with the myth, I felt like that was disrespectful. So I pulled back and I just stopped at the man.
No,
I should have went.
Can I tell you something? It would have been perfect. It would have been the myth is where, the build would have came in and we'd be like, fuck, this is so great. And then by the time the legend, everybody'd be going crazy.
I apologize. But here's the thing. The worst intros in the world go to Rich Voss. We have to both agree on that.
Yeah, they're the absolute worst. And the one that he gave to Colin Quinn was the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. Ever. I mean, we have Colin Quinn as a drop-in. And then Voss just goes, Florentine canceled. And we had to go all the way to the queues before we found somebody, Colin Quinn. I just hear Colin go, what the fuck, as he's walking out.
He fucking took a train upstate to do this gig for us. Literally.
Unbelievable.
On a Saturday night. Canceled all his cellar spots to come up and fill in for Florentine. He's the worst. He's the worst. And then he goes he brings me up. He goes, he's one of my favorite people on earth. That's not a good. Why is that a credit?
Right. Who are you bringing out? Raina? Stop it. It isn't about who you like. You're not so important that your opinion matters. How are you two getting along now? I understand that you had a very bad fight on here one night.
We did have a bad, because when all this went down.
Wait a second. How'd it get back to you already?
Believe me, I cover the waterfront, and people couldn't wait to tell me the shit show. And I'm like, well, first of all, and I'll tell you this, Mike, I saw this every fucking night on Twitter.
I bet.
These two, I swear to God, I thought it was going to end with a Dateline. Yeah. You know what I mean? I thought I was going to be on Dateline going, well, the tension just got worse and worse. And finally, Bobby snapped and killed him.
In a battle for mediocrity, two comedians.
Well, I don't know about why I had mediocrity.
That hurt a little bit, didn't it?
That hurt. But you know what, Ron? I'm working on letting things go and letting God so I don't have an emotional hangover the next day.
Tell Ronnie B the other thing that you said about it's okay to fail or some shit like that.
I said it's okay. I said it's okay to feel bad.
Oh yeah, it's okay to feel bad. What kind of bullshit is that?
Do you feel bad right now? Because the last time I talked to you on my show, you felt really, really bad. And
well, this is funny because, and Mike, I might have mentioned to you.
You did. I remember.
I
It all
called
comes
you and I
back
was
to me
like
the waterfront. I remember everything. It comes through.
I go, I think I just bombed on Bennington's show because I really couldn't tell, because I went in. It was right when the pandemic started, and when we were like, literally every gig I had was just eliminated from my calendar. And then the cellar was eliminated, which was always my backup. At least I'll work the cellar. I'll host. I'll do whatever to make that money to support my family. That was gone. And I really had I was in shock. And I'm trying. So I went on Bennington's show, but it was a call-in. And I'm not good at calling. It's the worst.
The worst.
And I came in with being funny. And I think I started out with a cough, like I was sick.
Seems like you didn't come in being funny.
Oh, no.
No.
Well, one of them.
First of all, here's the thing, and Mike knows this. We realize that a lot of people listening have lost their jobs. There's a lot of people out there hurting that had no money.
Right.
And he's like, he's saying to me, well, you got your money coming in, right? You're making money. It must feel good that you're making money. And I mean, only after the fact did he say he was joking. There was nothing that would register what he was doing as comedy at all.
Sarcasm does not translate well over the phone.
You didn't have a good
defense.
You didn't have a good first couple of weeks in the whole pandemic.
I didn't know. But I went on his show and I believe Chris had actually had COVID, and I came in. I didn't know that. And I came in like I had it, and Ronnie was like, "Are you kidding?" Like, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm." And he was like, "Oh, all right, well, I mean, Chris has it." And that he isn't.
Yeah, because we were still taking it serious. I had, by the way, you probably can't hear it, but the people in New York are cheering right now. It's
7 o'clock.
So they're cheering because for the people who've had it and the workers. But I've had, listeners and friends on ventilators. Gurian, of course, was taken away, and we thought we'd never see him again. So in the middle of that, Bobby is really feeling bad for himself and his gigs. And I'm like, we're here to,
Well, I didn't feel. I in my defense, I don't have the
empathy.
I don't have. When that happened, I don't have $1 million in the bank. It was very scary. It was very scary for me.
100%.
So,
but now you're an entertainer, and everybody's in the same boat. There's no one that's overly like you. How many people have $100 million? You know what I mean? One or two.
I know a lot of people that have millions.
Right, but here's the thing: you do because of the, the occupation. But most people aren't that.
No, you're right. I think I read the room wrong, and I was trying to crack.
By room, you mean planet Earth. The planet Earth. That is the room that you read wrong. Now, here's the thing. We weren't mad at you. We honestly thought, oh, my God, Bobby's in trouble. Let's reach out, let's chill him out. We didn't know what you were doing.
I don't remember anybody reaching out.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. I don't think we reached out.
Yeah, I remember. Not even I don't think the first time I've talked to you might be now. Is that right? I mean,
it's a good thing we reached out to him to reach out to you. It worked out perfect.
Yeah. No, I'm saying, I just don't remember the reaching out part. But no, I'm sure the thought was there. But
no, you're right. You're right. You're right. I'm not going to lie about that. We're just like, oh my God, I guess Bobby's gone. You know what I mean? But we were losing a lot of people at the time.
They put you in the dead column.
I tell you, because I love Ronnie's show with Gail.
You always killed on it. You've always killed on it.
It's just a fucking blast. There's no you walk in. I've had made up characters. I've been silly. You can be serious. it's just awesome. And when I called in, they were like, yeah, Ronnie wants you to call in. I was like, great. And I fucked up. And I was making jokes, but then you'd hear this.
Well, none of those registered as jokes.
Yeah.
We heard a man in trouble. We heard a man in trouble who we had seen up to that point as a tower of strength.
Yeah. Maybe that was it. Maybe the but to let you know now, I've recovered mentally. My tower of strength is back. I feel fantastic. I have a new life that I'm living, a different life, and I feel okay. I feel pretty good about it right now. I feel fine.
I honestly think that's the only thing to do is go, well, these people are saying, when do we get back to normal? That ain't fucking happening. There's not, that life is over. We'll see what the new life is, but there is no, what's it going to take us? 2 years or 3 years?
Yeah.
Now, what, you go in every day, Ronnie?
No.
Do it from your home?
Yeah. And literally, I remember when they're like, "Oh, we're sending you the equipment." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Bobby and I still had gigs that weekend booked, and we did the casino, and then when we were at the casino, they canceled the theater in Manhattan. But that day, that Thursday, because I was taking Friday off, they're like, "We're sending you stuff," and I'm like, "Why? This thing, it's not going to," they're like, "At least you'll have it. You'll be able to." And I haven't seen anybody from my show physically since that day. I mean, Manhattan is shut down until maybe yesterday. But when I go out, the number of places that are boarded up, that, dress stores that all the stuff is gone. It's just an empty window. I don't even remember what was in these stores. And they're in my neighborhood,
That's crazy.
So it's, and I live on the Upper East Side. They say 40% of the people have already left the Upper East Side, right? And I'm like, there's no way it's only 40%. I go out at night, and it's so quiet that it's unbelievable. I mean,
wow.
It's stunning.
Yeah.
It's stunning.
I went into the city last week with Max. Sunday night I went in. I drove in to pick up some stuff from the studio. First time since before we did that casino. And I went to the cellar, and it was a lot of homeless, kind of crazy. They were kind of aggressive, and nobody on the street. It was creepy. And I felt bad because I was so excited to see the cellar again,
right,
be out in front, and it was weird. It reminded me of like earlier in New York, back in the day when it was a little more dangerous.
70s, 80s New York, when it was very dangerous. 90s still could get a little spooky, but we're going back to some kind of a weird thing that we don't even know right now. No idea what it's going to be.
Yeah, it's
things have been fine for me. I go to work every day in the studio. Tampa's so different. I'm like, I haven't missed a fucking beat.
Right. That's because it hasn't hit there. You know what I mean? Like when people are going, a lot of this stuff is bull. I've seen it in my neighborhood. You know what I mean? I understand what it is, and it's not. It's not made up.
No, I don't believe it's made up. We've been certainly practicing. I mean, my family's been in for months in the house. The kids haven't gone to school. My son went to his first hockey practice last week, and it was a one-on-one practice. Like things are just now starting to open up, but like we won't go out to dinner or anything like that yet. I'm the only one that goes out. I leave to go to work. Maybe I go to Publix every once in a while, but I wear a mask. I come home. We got disinfectant everywhere. I mean, we're doing the right thing. There's less people here, and there's less people on top of each other. That's why we're able to get away with that.
So far, I mean, it's not like you never got the flu there. You know what I mean? Like the only thing that has slowed this thing down is really the social distancing.
Yeah.
And now everybody forgets that. And they're like, hey, this isn't. Yeah, because this whole thing hit the way it hit, and we got in, too late. But this is all over the world.
Oh, yeah.
This is the weird thing about American television. Why aren't we seeing the rest of the world? You know what I mean? Why aren't we seeing? Because I know people in London, and they're like, it's a ghost town. And people in Paris, it's a ghost town. This is the craziest shit that not only went down in our lives, but probably maybe anybody's life. That something like this happened, because when shit like this used to happen, we didn't have all these world travelers moving it around.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, it took 7 months on the Santa Maria for some shit to get here.
All right, there you go, right there. You pulled
mean,
out a
I
piece
mean,
of history
guys,
that was great.
I literally made a Santa Maria joke. I was gonna go Pinta,
No,
but
Santa Maria was a good choice.
Do you think? Because Pinta to me is a funnier word. Pinta.
Pinta, Santa
Not
Maria.
as-
and what-
It's
Good
not
job,
as
Sir Francis.
recognizable.
Yeah.
Could have
I
been
could-
somebody else.
I couldn't remember the last one. What was it? The Nina, the Nina. I
Yeah,
should have
the
went
Nina,
Nina.
Pinta, and the Santa Maria. Well, for some reason, they wanted us to learn those three names so bad.
Because there was
You
another
know-
one
Yeah.
that they don't the shemp of the boats that they don't tell you about. There was another boat.
This is a first for me.
Yeah. There
What
was
was
a
the other
Nina,
boat?
the Pinta, the Santa Maria, and the Ricardo Cordione. I don't know. There was another one though, and they just don't tell you about that one.
And you know
Three-
why?
3 was
That
all you
was-
need to know.
That was all blacks. So they're like, let's just play that one down. It's racism, is what it is.
Yeah.
Probably right.
Well,
Probably right.
Yeah.
I'd never heard there was another boat. I'm gonna be
The last one was
honest.
called
Mush,
the
look it up.
Cruise.
Yeah.
It was called
Mush,
the Cruise.
can you look it up, Mush? Because there is another
Um,
one. I know there is.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. 1 second.
Mango
No,
Mike.
Ronnie, when you ever come down here at all? Do you have family here?
Yeah, I got family there, but I don't know. You get on a plane and
No, not recently, but I mean, like, I never. You're like the elusive Ron Bennington. I never hear you here. Nobody ever.
You know what? Why you look in the rearview mirror? Keep moving. Keep
Hey, look,
moving ahead. That's why I'm not even held on to the way New York used to be. I'm ready for the new New York.
the new New York, the new Amsterdam.
Yes, I wouldn't even mind a name change. It would not even be a bad. Maybe Santa Maria might be the
I would
lucky
call it the.
stripe
I'd
that
go
we're
the
looking at
Nina.
right now.
I'd go the Nina if I was doing it.
So, Bobby, do you think comedy is ever coming back or not coming back? Or
I have a gig in June down in Florida. I have a gig in June. Either I'm gonna drive down or I'm gonna fly down. My wife, we were gonna go fly down to Mike's house, stay with him, and then do the gig. Because I believe his band's playing one of the shows. But I guess they're they're changing all the tables. They're halving the room, and I have to take some type of weird some cut or whatever, and people have to wear masks, and I'm bringing my own microphone. So
can I just tell you, this sounds great. This sounds fantastic. What I love is half the room spread out and wearing masks.
yeah,
Perfect.
it's better than a Zoom show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
better than coming on here, which a lot of guys are doing, a lot of girls are doing. They're coming now. Granted, though, I know people. If I went on here and charged whatever, there's some people charging $17 a ticket, and they can fill this room with 500 people. That's $8,000 for a show on Zoom that you can make in one night for an hour and a half or an hour. So you could do it. And there's some guys who have. Tom Cotter would kill on Zoom because it's just rapid fire joke. And he's not waiting for you know what I mean? My tempo is all based on your laugh. Like I can move on with how you're laughing at me or not laughing. You know what I mean? This would be hard for me to do Zoom. It would be
Who
hard.
the fuck is paying $17 to watch Tom Cotter on Zoom?
Well, it's not. He's doing. Ray Allen charges $17 for his Friday night comedy show. You can charge. Some people are charging $10, but there's a different way they're doing it. So they're Byron Allen it. Like how Byron Allen would be like, so people are crazy. You have dogs. I heard you had dogs, Ronnie. How are your dogs? And then you go into your dog bit.
That's great. That sounds sounds like exactly what I want the future to be. Byron Allen fucking round table.
I can't do it.
Speaking of not funny, there were only 3 ships. It's just the Nina is its nickname, and it was actually called the Santa Clara.
Bullshit.
All right. Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up. And we're gonna fire you.
Okay.
Mikey
Can't
got
fire
caught.
Mike.
Like I like to lie too. I think it's fun. Just throw a lie out there, see who believes it. It's like a prank. You know what I mean? It's like Impractical Jokers.
Yeah.
But
You'd have your own cruise.
I honestly thought, I thought I had the entire thing wrong. But
It is a
now
thing
I know,
online. It
just-
does autofill with does he have 4 ships, but there's no other ship on that.
Conspiracy
Well,
because the blacks.
Yeah.
The chat did want to know how did Bennington and Mike know each other?
we didn't know each other in Florida, did we, Mike?
You didn't know me, but I knew you. I was a huge Ron and Ron fan.
But
And,
did we ever meet?
Well, I went to the live gig at the Button South in Fort Lauderdale, and I was right in the front row, so we probably high-fived at one point.
Man, that might have happened. Man, that was a nightmare, the Button South gig.
So that was good for me because the gig was supposed to be at the Hard Rock, and it got canceled. And I'd only lived in Miami for a little while, and they moved it to the Button South, which was closer to me. So I got up and drove over there at 5 o'clock in the morning by myself. There's a million fucking people there. Lines around the corner. And I'm like, I'm not getting in. And I'm alone. And then I see Billy the phone freak, and he's bringing in a couple of clients to the radio station. He's got like 4 people with him. So I just hopped on the group and walked in right with them, snuck in, moved all the way up front, and was right in the front row the entire time. And it was fucking one of the best things ever. This is before I was in radio. I was still in college.
what is this you're talking about, though?
I feel like you owe us $17. You know what I mean? Like that's
well, if I didn't give it to Ray Allen.
we would take our morning show out in the morning and do these gigs back then, and it was like a very, very big show. But the funny thing that happened there was we're supposed to do the Hard Rock, and there was I had an intern band, right, that was going to be playing with us. And there had been a lot of shit going down in Miami. Miami at that time was insane. I mean, violence-wise, it was insane. So some German tourists had been killed, right? And it became a big deal in Germany and Europe. Should we go to Miami anymore, or do we just cut this off? It's too dangerous. And I had named the intern band the Dead German Tourists because I said that they were a punk rock band. They just zero talent.
I own the CD of Dead German Tourist.
Yeah, the Dead German Tourists. So, so the Hard Rock took so much shit, right, that they eventually had to say, look, this is a place that honors the classic rock, and this band, first of all, they're treating this band as if they are a band. They're not. It's interns and their friends. And we're getting, coverage on like CNN and MTV and all this kind of shit. And so they were like, this is not what the Hard Rock is all about. And then I go on the next day and I said, if Jim Morrison was alive, he wouldn't piss on this. You're just doing, bullshit, shock radio, fighting about everything. And then the Button South took us, and then they weren't even prepared for the, you know what I mean? Like they didn't have the preparations out, and it just became this crazy thing. But that's the kind of gigs that we used to do like all the time down there. And
Which
it was
I-
all 6 o'clock in the morning.
You were famous. You were famous. How many times have you been successful or famous in this business? Because you were famous as Ron and Ron and Fez. Now the Bennington Show. So it's 3 times.
Yes.
And you were famous as a comic.
Right. Very, very famous. If you know me, it's all about fame. I'm just constantly trying to
For somebody who doesn't like fame, it sure is attracted to likes you.
But hopefully that kind of stuff has to do more with work, right? Like, the unmasking and stuff like that. Like when I came out of whatever that craziness was, like I just decided I'm going to do the stuff that I want to do from this point on. You know what I mean?
Right.
No matter what happens. And then you draw in an audience. And then you say to yourself, is this thing even working anymore? You know what I mean? But what you don't want to do is what I was doing back then, which is just trying to top every gig with another gig. And I remember telling O&A the same thing. I go, this thing that you're doing is madness. You know what I mean? You're just trying to top the last time if you get in the news accidentally, okay. But you can't just try to fight with guests and get,
But you gotta. I'm the same way. I love Opie and Anthony, but I'd rather interview a guest than bring them in just to fight with them. Although every once in a while there's a good fight.
Right.
But I remember I was such a fan of that show, of your show, and I remember some of the great fights you had. And the best is Bennington's not your shock jock where he's yelling and being all, I remember what's the old timer Andy? It used to be the Christmas carols and he was old like a Bing Crosby, Andy Williams. So you got, and that was another thing I loved about your show is you would interview anybody. They were on a rock station that played music for a little while before they went with no music, and they would have the most eclectic guests on the show. And Andy Williams was on the show, and Bennington didn't. He just slowly shit on him until it seeped into Andy Williams that he was getting shit on, and it was great. And then the Don Johnson blow up. I mean, there was so many good moments.
Let's stop at the Andy Williams. I can tell you, I never met Andy Williams in my life.
No, it was on the phone. Listen, I remember.
I'm stunned
everything.
By this.
But Ronnie, I remember everything. I've modeled so much of my show after what I've learned from you guys. I grew up listening to Howard, but I fell in love with what you guys did. I was like a combination of those two would be the greatest thing. And I mean, I still call my live gigs live gig after you guys. There's so many things I give you guys credit for, the game shows and all that kind of stuff. And I remember Andy Williams was on the show, and he's an old man, and he's an old sweet man, and you just took a couple of shots at him, and he did the whole. I
literally have zero memory.
I guarantee you, yeah. Billy's probably got it.
This is the guy who said there was 4 ships. By the way.
No. I'm telling you, there's certain.
Also, no, I mean you may be right. I have a couple of kind of blanked out decades.
Jay Leno was on the show one time, and it was right when he got the Tonight Show. And you said to Jay Leno, you were insisting that Brian Regan should guest host for him. He said, if you're going to have a guest host like Johnny had, who would you have? And you said, I don't know. And you said, Brian Regan should be your guest host. And then you gave it right back to fucking Jay because you said that you were in show business and Jay shit on you and said, well, radio is not show business. You were like, fuck you. I do this for 5 hours a day, 20 hours a week, and we don't have writers. This is more show business than, and he was like, you're right. You brought him back around. I remember fucking everything.
I don't remember that at all.
He is an elephant.
You were on a station, 95 YNF in Tampa.
He remembers everything. He does have a great memory.
I do.
Well, what happened with Don Johnson? That's what I want to know. You had a blow at Don Johnson?
This is not how I expected to come on your show, Bobby, where it was literally like in an interview with
Ronnie. I am a bit. Look at you're my friend. We were on tour together, Kreeps With Kids. But Mike, I mean, you're his. It seems to me, I didn't know this either. That you're his idol.
I will tell you right now. It was Ron and Ron. It was Neil Rogers and Howard Stern were my 3 inspirations to do radio. And Ronnie said on the air one day, somebody brought up my name, and Ronnie said, oh yeah, Mike's got the show in Tampa, best show in Tampa right now. So I don't even fucking care if he's lying. The simple fact that he said it meant so much to me that it was great. I was a huge fucking fan.
Oh, thanks very much.
Yeah.
All right.
I actually got more info for you, Mike.
Yeah.
From Lou from the Patreon, or our friend Lou. She said it's the Vizcaína is what you were thinking of, but that is the 4th boat from his 4th voyage. So people get it confused because there's a book about it. It says the 4th boat, but it's not from the 3 we're talking about.
There was some
hold on for a second. Was I on that boat? Is that how I don't remember being on that boat back then?
No, but Andy Williams was.
Yeah. I saw, this is a true story. It's serious, right? I'm coming around and they have that little fishbowl there, right? And Barbara Walters was doing a show out of there. And there was just a piano, a guy in the piano, and Andy Williams. So I walk around into the engineering booth, and Andy Williams is just singing Moon River right into Barbara Walters' face, right? It's just the two of them. And it was so beautiful that I could not believe it. And if I would have thought for a moment that I gave that guy any fucking pain at all, I would have probably went in and apologized.
You sure it wasn't Andy Rooney?
No.
Andy Rooney, I remember telling him that he was a sack of shit and old and he probably had shit his pants.
We gotta Mike, Calta, we got a great compliment today, and this is reason why I love Ronnie's show so much too, is that somebody complimented us because we never really talk politics. We talk everything else but, and we have a lot of fun, and they appreciate that because a lot of these other shows are always about politics and Trump and blah blah blah, and everybody's talking about that shit, and we never do, and it's a lot of fun.
For two reasons. One, I mean, it's the same thing day and night. No, there's enough of that on every other channel in the world, and if you think that your morning show is anything other than occupying people as they're driving to work and entertaining them, then you're wrong. They just want to laugh and they want to have a good time on the way to their shit jobs. And who wants to bog them down with fucking politics? Same thing before they go to bed.
I would say 3. There's a third one in there too with us, is that we're not very smart politically.
Oh, I am.
Oh, I'm well. Okay, well,
I
there you go.
talk about it for. It's
you
just,
can flip me. You
Yeah.
can flip me with 2 sentences. I'll be like, yeah, fuck Trump, and then I'll be
That's
like,
the only way
well,
you can
Pelosi's
flip
a
you.
tour. Yeah, you can flip me in 2 sentences.
Also, this is the other problem is that I voted for Trump. I'm starting to
What?
think yeah, well, I wasn't going to vote for Hillary, but I'm pretty sure he's too much of a fucking moron to be president again. But I don't know if I could vote for Biden. So if I say that, then all the Trump people get mad at me and they go, "Oh fuck, now you're turning into the mainstream media." I was like, I don't give a shit what you think. I'm always going to tell you how I honestly feel, and that's the best I could do. That's the best I could do. The guy's an idiot.
You talked right over my joke.
Yeah.
You blacked out.
I know. I
disappeared.
left. I left. It was like a joke. But you,
I love how you
that
guys
was
got a
the joke?
compliment.
wanted to get your fucking soapbox out.
I love how you guys
Because-
got a compliment and you immediately did what they said they love you not doing.
I didn't.
Right.
Mike did. I didn't. You started. Well, let me tell you about.
I also like how you
reason
keep
why.
your shirts on.
Anyways,
I can go back to kissing Bennington's ass if you want me to for a little while longer.
Let's talk about boats more.
So Don Johnson.
Yes.
No, I'm only kidding. Here's the funny thing about Don Johnson too. I would get once a year someone either sending us an email or a letter that was doing one of these shitty biography shows that you would always see. You know, I don't know what they are, but it's like fake documentaries, wanting me to do an interview about the Don Johnson fight. And I go like this: what makes you think I want to follow this fucking guy for the rest of his life, busting his balls? I don't give a shit. It was a fucking morning show conversation. But they always want to, you know, was he drunk? Did he fall off the wagon? I'm just like, who fuck, leave the man alone. He already lost his wife.
Is his wife dead?
No. But, you know, you can't get that fucked up.
You mean, how lucky,
ended
can I
up with
say
an-
something?
Yeah.
How lucky is Don Johnson? How lucky is that he got divorced from her? She really turned into a train wreck later in life, didn't she?
Is that right? All right. So
Looks
we're
like
a gossip show. Let's do,
Oh.
let's go through the Kardashians a little bit, you know?
Well, we could talk about the Kardashians if you want to,
Yeah.
because I don't like them. I'm not
Really?
a fan.
That's a shocker. What about Caitlyn Jenner? Fan?
Well, that bitch can do whatever she wants because she's savage, and I mean that in a
Okay.
good way.
What do you like, Ronnie? I don't know. You're such a fucking like mystery. I've listened to you on the 3 different shows, and you are very private and very quiet about. Like, I don't really know anything about you other than what you hear on the radio.
Yeah, that's pretty much me. You
No,
know,
but I mean, like, I didn't even know. I had heard they had kids at one point. Now you got a full-grown daughter on the show. Like, you don't really. And I'm serious. Like, I talk about you guys would never. They would never mention wives or girl. It was always my chick. I remember that. And
Yeah.
now you got full-grown kids. Like, I didn't know how that slipped through.
yeah. Well, they didn't slip through. I just never I would never talk about the people in my life that weren't in that business. You know what I mean? Like now Gail is in the business, so you know, what are you gonna do? And then you could talk. But before, I mean, I've never been a fan of anybody who brings in people into their life. Like, oh, I had a fight with my wife last night, or you know, that I remember the first time that I heard Louis do the "my kid's an asshole" joke. I couldn't believe it. Like when people were normally talk about being shocked by a bit, when he said that his baby was an asshole, I was like, fuck, you're going to regret that. Now, everybody does some version. I saw a newscaster do some version of that joke. I mean, it's totally mainstreamed out there. But I always thought that, like, I don't like when people would talk about me when I wasn't there, and I wouldn't do it to other people.
You do. You have a set. Ronnie does have his life away from everything is his life, and who's in it is in it, and you're not getting in it. You know what I mean? Like, like some, and I respect that. It was because Ronnie, you're such a great guy, and you want to be like, dude, want to go hang out, and you're like, no, I'm gonna go home and do my, you know what I mean?
But also, I think there's very little reason for men to be together. You have work or you have alcohol, right? There's the two things that you can bond over. Golf, hunting, but that all is excuses for partying most of the time. You know what I mean? Like, if you really want to golf and not drink, I don't even kind of understand that. So I think if you have work together, right, you got to keep that as the most important thing. And I think it's stupid to fuck around with that. You're not going to have a personal experience as good as what we had on stage with the Kreeps. You know what I mean? That's as high as you can get.
Right. It's funny too, and I got to be honest with you. When we decided to do it, I didn't know. We set up the lineup, and it's like, all right, I'm going to go after Ronnie, and I know Ronnie's funny. I've seen him at the Cellar at the Village Underground. He kills, but I didn't understand how funny Bennington was. I didn't understand how funny you were. I was backstage one night early in the tour, and I just heard the crowd. It sounded like something bad was happening. That's how good Ronnie was doing. I'm like, I got up. I go, what the fuck's going on? What happened? Well, I thought I had to go protect somebody or something because the place was going nuts. And it was just Ronnie. And here's the thing. He's killing in the exact opposite way that I kill. It's not even I can't even jump on what he does and just keep it going. You have to wrangle these fuckers back and all right, we're going over here now. And I remember watching him, and then Voss was like, he's fucking, because Voss loves it. He's fucking killing. Voss just wants you to take a hot one just so he can laugh at you. And you really can't bomb on this show because we're all going back out at the end, and we're doing this panel. So you can, on a regular show, you can take a hot one and just go home and call somebody on the way home. On this thing, we all got to go back out and sit in a fucking stool with the other three, which is like, fuck this. And I was like a boxer backstage, like, come on, you can do it. You can fucking do it. And Voss is like, he's almost done. Thank God Voss would go up and do this joke about fucking Ron Jeremy that would really just bring them back to planet Earth.
Bring them back to the Earth. But it was very funny. At the beginning of that tour, you were like, you should close. And I was like, dude, this is you put this whole thing together with CAA. I really want you, to close this fucking show. And then you got comfortable with it. And there was never a night that you didn't fucking murder, every single night. But you weren't crazy about it at the beginning of that tour. But you were relaxed with it as we went on.
Well, because number one, you're Ron Bennington. I don't want to step on toes myself, but we've done this. Look, I did this whole thing with you from the beginning. I came up with the idea and immediately went to you. And I wish we could have done what we did. I wish the show, and maybe it still will, hopefully, because we still have shows that are going to rebook. But, because him and Gail used to come out at the beginning. And Gail, they did this thing that was very old school, but very funny, where they would write bits. They would have bits, which blew me away because Ron wouldn't. That's why I like Ron. He won't tell you. He's just like, we got something. And then he'd just go up and do it so I could enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Like what?
It was 2-3 years ago. I mean, I think the first one we did. I actually have the thing up here. I forget the bits, but they would go up and do certain things together and work it out, and then they'd open up the show.
Yeah, the initial point of Kreeps with Kids, which I thought was not the first time you told me about it, I didn't think it was that good of an idea. I'm like, I don't even know if you, because Bobby's like, you know how comics, like, we're crazy, but we're really good dads. And I was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's not up to you whether you're a good dad or not. Somebody will eventually tell you when they're 25 whether or not you're a good dad. There's a, it's a very small jury, and but after like fucking around and talking to people, and I think this is why it worked, there's something very common in comics that they see their children as people. You know what I mean? And that is so unique. Like, you see the way Florentine is, and you see the way Bonnie is with her daughter, and you're like, yeah, they don't buddy up, but at the same time, it's not that traditional thing. And their kids tend to be kind of bright and street smart because they've been talked to like they were an adult since they were an infant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's really, really unique. And it's really, so that's why I ended up thinking that it was a brilliant idea. And you knew it, but I didn't get it at first.
Yeah,
So-
it was so I'm sorry, dude. It was so amazing too, because the first panel, Calta, Ronnie was hosting it, and Gail was in the audience hosting it with him, right? And they would take questions, whatever. But Ronnie knows how to ask questions to get you to say something. And as soon as you say something, he's just on it. And it goes. There was one time where I talked about being I was sexually abused as a kid. I said I was not sexually. I was physically abused, and he was like, "That's great. That's terrible. You were molested." I was like, "No. I wasn't." He goes, "No, it's okay. A lot of boys are molested." Dude, we're in front of 1,000 people. And then Florentine's like, "Yeah, you were molested. It's okay. Everybody does it." And then Voss was like, "I was molested too." You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
But it was so fucking funny, man, to go out there and deal with that. And in the beginning stages too, it was fucking brilliant.
I think, Mike, I'm sorry we didn't ever bring that show to Florida, because it was so fucking hot by the end of it. And it was so, well, really, I don't think there was even one bad show. I mean, every show. And the thing that I'm happy about is, like, I feel like everybody really appreciated it while we were doing it. Like, we had that experience before the rug was pulled out of comedy, and comedy is never coming back. But we had it. You know what I mean? Like, we did that thing, and that was really, really cool.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be April. We went right over it, man. We were so close.
Yeah.
It sucks.
And
Well, the last night, the first show that they canceled was sold out in Manhattan, and that was going to be phenomenal. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you want to do, sell out a theater in Manhattan. And I guess comedy's gone forever.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's true, Ron. I hope not.
Yeah, no, it is.
You make me spiral out of control like I did on your
I
show.
know. Yeah.
But you two are still making money, right?
Oh, yeah. Doing great. Doing fucking great. I didn't want to say it to my audience. I want to let them know that I care. But, unbelievable times. And I had everything in gold. All my savings were in gold. So that's fucking fantastic.
Hey, speaking of money, how much should I be making in Tampa as the number one guy for the last 3 years?
Jeez, I don't even know, the whole
14
fucking
million?
terrestrial is scarier than anything. You know what I mean? Like, who knows what any business is anymore,
I used to hear try to guess what you guys made, and, then you got syndicated, and I'm like, holy shit, man.
Did you just try to find out what Ronnie made while he was down here?
Yeah.
Well, I would have flat out asked. I said, "What should I be making?" We had the same agent for a little while, so I milked him with all the questions first with Ross Reback.
Agent, he means sandwich guy.
Yes.
He had Subways, and
What does that mean?
Listen,
he had Subway restaurants, and then ended up with us. He passed away. What was it? 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ross Reback was a guy who owned a bunch of Subways. was a big sponsor of theirs, and then ended up being the president of their network. And then when I needed an agent in Tampa, I had to get out of a deal, so I needed to hire an agent, and I hired him. And I was so happy I did because I got more fucking Ron stories than I had ever thought. And
you're definitely going to get more than you got out of me. But here's the, I mean, because all the stories are dark, but I'm not going to give you any of the Ross Reback stories.
He would say, well, Ronnie, he'd go, and then they said they were going to hire me, and Ronnie went, the fucking sandwich guy? That's what he said. The fucking sandwich guy is going to run our network. I mean, he was very honest about it.
Yeah.
I don't know what your relationship was like, but he did speak. I mean, towards the end, we didn't have a very good relationship either, but he always spoke highly of you no matter what happened between the two of you. And he would always tell good stories. He said you guys would go out to, we'd go out to dinner and the waitress would come over and go, and Ronnie would go, what's the biggest tip you ever got? And she's like, I don't know. He goes, think of it, because this guy's going to double it today. He'd fuck me out every meal. I'll tell you, the one thing I learned from him that was, because he was weird. His philosophies are weird. But one thing I did learn from him that I never did before is he taught me how to say no to a lot of shit that I shouldn't have been doing. And I saw the way he treated you guys. He treated you guys like you were superstars, and that you should be treated that way. And radio guys don't get that. And I learned to say a no to a lot of bullshit things. I learned to say no to endorsements, even though I needed the fucking money, because the look was better to say no. That was the biggest thing I've learned from him.
Well, did you ever hear how he started in Buffalo?
I don't recall. If you say, I wouldn't know.
So he came out of the rock business when he was a kid, right? And it was a room. There was 4 of them in the room, and the business was owned by the Weinstein brothers. The Weinstein brothers were rock and roll guys. And then Ross and the guy that Shandling ended up suing, I can't think of his name. He was a great comedy manager. I'll think of it. But those 4 guys, and he told me, and this is back when we all loved, the Miramax movies, that the Weinstein brothers were fucking crazy. He said they would just be screaming every day, every fucking day. They were like abusive and crazy. And then they would fight with each other. But he said if you ever like sided with one, they would both turn around, join together, and come at you, And I always remember thinking, he's got to be blowing this out of proportion because these movies are so fucking great. You know what I mean? And then, you find out that Weinstein is a beast. But I used to have him on my show before all the shit hit. Harvey would come in, right?
Really?
And he was like literally one of the most seductive people I had ever fucking known. Like he would just be like locked into you and like, hey. And then I remember we did this really, deep thing about movies and shit. And then I'm home. And he contacts me. And no one ever gets my fucking number. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just really not going to sit around and talk to people on the phone or text back and forth with them. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'll see you when I fucking see you.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. And then he was like, hey, we were going back and forth. Like, yeah, maybe that would be a show, me and you, just fucking around talking movies. And, it's just one of those blessings that, you're not the guy doing a show with Harvey Weinstein when 95 fucking women said that, they were fucking assaulted by him.
That's a couple of deals that were good that I didn't take. I didn't take the David Lee Roth producer job, which was offered to me before Al Dukes. Actually, Al tried to hire me to take the job, and I was like, no. And he said, why?
Because he wanted out, right?
Yeah, and he didn't want to do it, and he wanted me to do it, and I was like, fuck no. He goes, you don't even have a job. I go, yeah, but in 6 months from now, I don't want people to be going, what happened to the funny guy from the David Lee Roth show? I was like, I'm not doing that. And then when you guys went to NEW, they kept trying to find a spot for me at night, and they kept wanting me to do all these guests. I was supposed to host with Max Kellerman, and then that got moved, and then they had me scheduled to host with Taz for a while from the WWE. And I was like, all right, I'll come up and do it. And I had a plane ticket. And then the last minute they called me and they were like, oh, Taz had it. I was like, fuck it, I'm not coming. And then they
that wasn't NEW. That was the other station.
Oh,
the one that
After?
the same as the David Lee Roth one. Yeah, the one that
Yeah.
O&A went into in the morning. But that when you wouldn't have been the funny guy on David Lee Roth, you never would have got a fucking word in.
No,
You know what I
that's
mean? Like,
true.
he was
That's absolutely true.
just like, like he was like fucking some ADD 3-year-old. I mean,
You'd have an easier
insane.
time talking to Sherrod Smalls.
Al Duke said that I was carrying a bunch of carts one time because Dave still wanted carts, and he said Dave got mad at him and he threw a fucking cart at him and knocked a stack of carts all over. And I thought, how weird is that David Lee Roth is throwing shit at you? He goes, but then the next day he came in my office and he goes, hey man, sorry I had a bad day yesterday, and he gave him $1,000 cash. I thought that's a fucking great story.
How many fucking times did he do that after he pissed on a chick? You know what I mean? Like, hey, I don't know where my head was. Here, take your fucking Jibo. You're on your way.
I thought the Weinstein story was gonna go to some sexual assault with you, which I was kind of bummed out about. I thought, when he engaged you and then got your number and then maybe.
But he really was an incredibly fucking seductive guy. Like, he really made you feel like, I get why he was able to pull a lot of fucking movie stars to him and shit. A lot of people worked with him and apparently didn't see his dark side because he wanted something out of him. But then you get the David Lee Roth day where, he did turn around and fuck with a lot of people that we all love. You know what I mean? And I'm not even talking about the sexual assault. I'm just like, I'm cutting your movie. This is stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He would just chop it up.
You ever had any interaction with Howard, Ronnie?
No, Howard is basically his own side of the building. He'd already been established for what he was, and I totally get that. That he's in and out and doing things away. I mean, I know everybody in his staff is even like, we're here to make fucking Howard feel like he can come in because he doesn't need it. Obviously,
Right.
He doesn't need to do anything. So they set it up where, he doesn't really have to see anybody.
Everybody on his staff is real. I mean, all those guys are fucking great, though. I mean,
Yeah, of course.
Shuley and Sal, and anytime you see those guys around, they're fucking fantastic. They're not.
I just was saying that because I know that I bet you, I guarantee he's listening to an Unmasked and he's listening to your style, and you guys had good competition in the past in terrestrial. Like, I would think that he would probably, I don't know, he seeks out good guys when he wants to meet them. I just was wondering if he ever approached it or anything.
Well, even if he did, I wouldn't tell you, Mike. You know that
Thank
about
you.
me. But, I'd be like,
Jesus. Hey, Ronnie.
How do you not worry about people thinking you're an asshole? Like, I that weighs on me sometimes. Like, I'm like, I don't want this guy to think I'm a dick. I don't want the listener to think I'm a mean. You simply don't give a fuck.
I wouldn't say that I don't give a fuck, but I've had life experiences before this point, right?
Yeah.
And there's more of a chance that the more that you fucking hang out, that fucking bad shit is going to go down. I mean, like, there are people that, the way I am with my fucking scene and keeping myself together today, there are fun people that would definitely be more tempting for me than non-fun people.
Like me.
I don't think it bothers you, right, Bobby? I mean,
when people don't like me or people fuck with me?
No. Well, I'm just saying this. The more that you hang out in that. Somebody called me the other day and they said, I met you at the fucking Manhattan at this thing, and I shook your hand and I palmed you a fucking 8-ball, and you looked at it and handed it back and said, no, I'm not into that anymore. And then I started apologizing. You go, no, that's your thing. You do. And I was like more proud of that than fucking anything that's probably went down, because that was not my way of being. But having said that, there are people that I like that could do that would be a lot more tempting than people that I don't know or don't like.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
there
that
are
makes a
people
lot
that
more
are
sense.
like fucking fun people that you're like, yeah, I could see myself fucking sliding into the darkness.
Do you have a best friend now? Do you have one person that you would say is your best friend?
Well, I mean, my family, the people in my family, it's Fez Watley. You know what I mean? Like, Fez is a person that I check in with all the time. And Fez is probably, in the last 25 years, the only friend I've ever no, it's definitely the only friend I've ever had in my home. You know what I mean? With my family, because
You're not
Fez became family.
but
Yeah.
you're not adding any new people to your life.
Bobby, you're in my life.
Well,
I just,
Wait, no, let me.
I
listen.
don't want to. I just don't want to hear all your problems because they're petty and they're weird. And
Don't-
remember the night that you tried to tell me all your problems, and I thought we were done, and your feelings
When
got
was
hurt.
that? Oh yes,
It was.
on tour, right?
It was. Yeah, it was on tour,
Yeah.
and you're telling me all your problems. I think it was right after my dad died, and I was like, okay, I'm sorry you feel that way. You know about this person,
the
like
day-
a man.
It was
Yeah.
the day after your dad died, by the way. Just
Yeah.
sorry.
And you know,
Ronnie
I had to
Bennington
say,
is the
like,
last. He's the last of the real men. You're the last of fucking
Yeah.
Don Draper, is what you are. You really are.
He
I-
really is
I-
John Wayne.
not at all.
Like if
It's
I
just
was
that-
gonna cry right now, he would make you feel like an asshole for crying. Because he genuinely feels like you're a pussy for crying.
well, I don't know if that's true because I always think if the other person cries, it's good radio. But
Bobby, your cup is so
Uh,
small.
yeah, but yeah, I can't fucking. It's not that I'm fucking John Wayne. It's just that the rest of the world is just went in a different direction. That's all.
But I respect what you've like, that you have your family and you go home and you spend time with them.
Right.
You're not going to go, you come to the club, you do your thing, but then you go home. It's not like you're throwing barbecues or coming to barbecues or kind of doing things.
Again,
Yes.
dropping in and doing a set at the Cellar is the most fucking powerful thing you could do. Sitting at that table for the next 3 hours making fun of each other's shirts is fucking childish. It's fucking childish. It's, and you're like, oh, we can't do that because we don't know how to tell each other we love each other. Well, learn. It's less fucking annoying. Who cares what another man is wearing? It means nothing. Plus, and I'm going to do this to you, Bobby, because you've been putting me on the spot this whole time. Do you know what was like you know what our big chill moment was?
What was that?
So you were explaining something to me, and you said the opposite of funny. Cool is the opposite of funny, and I just was staring at you because I was
cool is the
thinking-
enemy of funny.
I would say the fucking truth is like that when you believe that takes you closer to being hack. That's the fucking thing that I would concern myself with, because I think of how many fucking comics I think are really cool, and I don't understand that thing of we got to act like we're not fucking cool, you know?
Okay, I understand that, but when you start taking naked selfies, right, and when you start thinking that you're a supermodel more than a comic, or when you start thinking
now how does that register as cool? Would Jack Nicholson or Miles Davis sit around and fucking take pictures of themselves naked on fucking Instagram or even?
Well, I agree with you. I think that Miles Davis and Jack Nicholson are cool. I think that type of dude is cool. I think that what I was saying is the definition of what people think is cool isn't fucking cool to me. To not be funny, funny's first before thinking that you're a sex symbol. Just because you're famous, because you're doing
Is there
comedy,
somebody that you have in the back of your mind?
The front of your mind?
Oh, there's a few people. There's a few people that I think once they became, look, dude, when you start acting like you think you're supposed to act as an actor or a famous person, when you treat a limo guy like shit because you think you're supposed to, or
Well, that is cool.
you think that's cool. All right.
But again,
your definition of cool
do
is
it.
different than mine.
No,
he could pull it
definitely.
off. Yeah.
No, I would never fucking. I'm never.
Well,
cool to
I mean,
fucking limit
I just-
people.
I just think when you start to think that you're the shit is kind of where your funny dies.
Mm.
I think that knowing that your shortcomings.
Well, I'll tell you, man. I always dug Carlin, and I never saw him be anything but nice to fucking people at any point. I just still don't know if you get any better than him. You know. You
Well,
disagree?
he was never. He was cool, but he wasn't cool. He didn't think he was cool. He didn't think he was the shit, right?
Right.
I mean, he's not.
Right.
I don't think that Pryor or even Patrice, who to me was the ultimate comic, he would be in my Mount Rushmore. Patrice, just because of, but he had some fucking vulnerability. When your vulnerability goes, and you start thinking that the fame thing takes over, I think.
No, that's a fucking disease. But you should know from any of the steps. You know what I mean? You should get where that shit is just.
Can I say something to you too? One thing that this pandemic has done for me is I go to 3 meetings a week now, and I actually do them on Zoom, and it's mind-boggling that why I got away from the thing that actually made me healthy, and now with these where I can just go to my shed and turn on Zoom and go into a meeting with like-minded people. And like we always joke, because every day I have a saying of and I tell Mike and he tells me it's bullshit. The last one was progress rather than perfection. Told me that was horseshit. But yeah, it's horseshit.
You progress to be perfect.
It's the one thing I got out of this pandemic is I actually got a hold of that part of my life again, which I don't know if I would have ever got.
No.
To be honest, I don't think it took having to have. It's weird. Sometimes everything has to be taken away. Everything has to fall apart to actually go evolve into the next phase of who you're going to be as a positive thing. Because everything financially or whatever, all that shit was kind of wiped away. And I had to go back to, all right, how am I going to be healthy around my kid and my wife and me? Like, how am I going to be able to do this? Because I can't let this. And then I was like, oh, it doesn't matter. We can live wherever the fuck we live. We can live in an apartment back in Boston, whatever. I'll still do, I'll go fucking work. I don't give a shit. Oh, okay. And then going to meetings and stuff on Zoom and listening to other people going through the same shit. Because you said that to me on your show when I called. Bobby, the good thing is everybody's going through this. I go, yeah, that makes me feel worse because now I can't bitch. Because every time everybody I go to complain to, they're like, yeah, me too. And it's like, fuck. Usually when your shit falls apart, you can go to somebody and be like, dude, it's going to get better. And they're like, yeah, me too. And it's like, fuck. But now I kind of makes sense to me now. So,
well, here's the other thing. I mean, if you look at the country, we know we were fucked up. Everybody was like, hey, this country's pretty fucked up right now. Like all of our values were pretty fucking shitty. And the way we talk about each other and fight back and forth and what everybody feels about the people who voted differently than them. Mike already brought that up. We were heading towards fucking something. There was no doubt. And no one's going to look back at the people that we were. History is going to look back on us like we were fucking assholes. And right now, I'm somewhat let down by the country, federal, state, and local, everywhere, because they fucking acted like children when this thing happened. They acted like their hair was on fire and they didn't know what the fuck to do. But I'm really let down with my own generation. I'm really fucking embarrassed about the baby boomers and Generation X for the way we fucking carried the torch. And the fact that we weren't prepared and we don't know how to make sacrifices. And everything they've ever learned in school, was like, hey, these people, they got themselves through World War I. And these people, they all pulled together. We fucking did not do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we did not.
As my wife said today, because we were like, there's a couple things happen. We should go here for the summer or do that this summer. And she was like, she's like, I don't want to do anything. She goes, I want to just have a 1970s summer. We're just going to stay home. And we have the backyard, and we have the dog, and we have the block, and we can walk around the block, and we can get an ice cream, and we can enjoy each other. And I was like, I'm like, and then I come home today, my kid is in a bucket. He filled with water. And he's like, Dad, look at my pool. And the dog's licking out of the bucket, and the kid's in the bucket. And I'm like, oh, this kid could have fun.
Bobby, I had no idea. I mean, you said that things were bad for
It's
you,
bad.
but I didn't know your
It's
kid
bad,
had to
Rob.
take a bath in a fucking bucket.
It's
with his dog
fucking
licking
bad,
him.
Rob.
I feel
mean,
terrible.
Oh shit!
I had no idea. You
Hey.
got a Venmo?
What I was you motherfucker. You're one of the funniest. Well, hopefully we're gonna go back with Kreeps and Kids. Now you haven't done any comedy. You said
It's not happening, dude.
Are you done?
Not
We're
fucking
done, right?
happening.
Are we done?
I think, and I told you, I mean, I think it's about the next fucking generation. I really do. I think if anyone's going to, I said this today, I wish somebody 40 was running for fucking office. You know what I mean? Because they're going to have skin in the game. I don't know if anybody who was around for what this thing was before, but, you know, a big fucking problem is we've been fucking leveraged out. You know what I mean? For fucking years. We've been living like fucking, like we had more money than we had. Our fucking government, all the corporations were living that way.
Yeah.
That's what has us fucked right now. There's no one to go, hey, don't worry. We saved up for a rainy day. We got this. You know, there's no fucking dads out there at all. And that's because we got around to thinking shiny shit fucking mattered. And they're going to look back on us like we were fat, pill-taking fucking losers. They're going to. You know what I mean? They're going to say, what is wrong with these fucking...
How realistically depressing that is.
Yeah, that's fucking makes me sad. Are you looking forward to when comedy does come back, stand up? I mean, are you missing it at all?
It's not coming back, dude. You know what I mean? Like, you got to fucking realize that the world has changed. It's going to come back in something, but it's going to be for another generation. It isn't going to be...
You don't think comedy's the seller is going to come back and start up in a couple months?
Let go, man. Let go, brother.
Listen, I can't
Don't let him
go.
push you. Don't let him push you over
You're
the edge.
not comedy, Bobby. You know what I mean? That's not who you are. It's what you do.
Yeah, it's not what I do anymore either. it's I'm making cabinetry at my house. Do you need any cabinets, Ron? I see that cuckoo clock in the back. That needs a shelf.
Guess what? My dad made that for me, so that's very, very hurtful. It's the second fucking time that you gave me shots. So
He said he wanted to build a shelf for it. He wanted to put it on a shelf.
I said
No,
it's
no,
nice.
I
I want it.
never
give him
protect him when
fucking-
he's vulnerable is what he needs to be.
You're
all
going to
the
give him
time.
agita, and I'm going to have to hear about it all night. I need to make sure he's all right.
Guys, I told you 8 o'clock, and it's 8:01, so let's stop fucking around.
I love Ronnie. He's the best.
He's the last asshole.
He really is the last. I mean, they don't make him like him. They just don't make it like
Let me
Ronnie
just
did.
tell you, if I had a kid on the air right now,
Yeah.
if I had Ryan Hoppy or somebody who is an up and coming radio guy sit here and tell me how much of an effect I had on their career and how great I was and brilliant, I would let that motherfucker kiss my ass for an hour and feel good about it. This guy was like, shut the fuck up already. He does
He's
not give a shit.
he's the
He's
best.
never changed. He's never changed. So let me explain this real quick. Ron and Ron were Ron Diaz and Ron Bennington. Ron Diaz was the radio guy, and
Yes.
Ron Bennington was the funny comedian. And when Diaz did nights, Bennington would come on his show, and they developed a relationship, and they became so funny that they let them do a morning show. And their morning show grew into the biggest thing Tampa had ever seen, and then Orlando, and then Miami. And I always wondered, I know they broke up. They had a vicious breakup, and it was awful, but 30 years have gone by, or 25 years. And I wanted to ask Ron, if he would ever talk to Ron Diaz again, if he would ever do an interview with him, if they'd ever do an hour of Ron show with him together. But after talking with him, I didn't even have to ask him because you already know his answer. The past is the fucking past. I don't need any more fucking friends. Let it go. That's it. That's what he believes in, and he lives it.
He reminds me of, and I'm as my grandfather type of guy. You know what I mean?
My grandfather wasn't that cool. I mean, honest. I get he's gruff like the old timers.
He's really not. He is rough, but he's the most gentle, rough guy I've ever met.
Yeah.
I don't think he's rough. He's just honest.
But it's not. It's like he doesn't care about your feelings. He doesn't care about your feelings. Not that he's trying to hurt you, but he's going to tell you how he feels, and he's not sugarcoating anything so that you don't get upset.
He expects you to be a certain way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He expects, and the one thing his timing is so amazing. His fucking confidence in his fucking funny is I don't know anybody who has that type of timing, that type of confidence.
Because he doesn't give a shit what you think.
Well, yeah, he is.
We had a few questions from the chat, but we wasted time complimenting him. So no, the chat had a lot of questions for him, but we ran out of time.
Go ahead. I bet you I can answer for him.
Yeah, ask Mike the question.
That's what I was going to say. What do you think is going to happen with the Bennington Thanksgiving this year?
Oh, the Bennington Thanksgiving's not happening this year. I don't know if anybody's going to have a Thanksgiving special this year.
Yeah.
Who should you have on Unmasked next?
Dane Cook.
That would be a great Unmasked.
Mm-hmm. Get to the real questions.
Fucking great.
Let me see what the other ones were.
Keep them coming, Mush. I got them all day. I was gonna try and get Bennington on the hook to say if he ever does come to Tampa, if he'd let me do an Unmasked type interview with him, which he probably would have told me to fuck off.
Why did you choose to get back on stage after so long?
Because it was a good opportunity to do it with some guys he considers really funny.
And finally, what are your thoughts on Joe Rogan's new deal with Spotify?
He's the new Howard Stern. He's the new broadcast superstar. He's on the new platform, the internet, and this is it. This is where it's going. He's there.
I think that's about right. I think we got all
those are really good answers, Mike.
Yeah.
I listened. I was a fan of his. I know his.
You were?
No, I don't listen now. No, I'm just kidding. I don't listen now only out of inconvenience because I'm never in the car while he's on. I listen to replay sometimes on the way to work.
Yeah. Well, speaking of fans, we have our fans for the Patreon names we need to be reading out.
I love the fucking fans of this show, by the way.
I don't know that we have fans. I don't know that anybody actually listens to the show, and I'm not saying they don't. It's just that I have no knowledge of it.
What does that mean?
Like, I don't see numbers. I don't see anything. In my eyes, it's just the three of us, sometimes five of us, depending on what night it is.
Well, I mean, there are fans, right?
I'm glad. I hope so.
Mike?
Yeah. Yeah, and here's a big list of them right here.
I don't have the list.
I can resend it. I got to send it out on Tuesday.
Oh, well, he's just going to bring it up on the screen. Share it.
Okay. Hold on.
That's the way we should do it from now on, by the way. You should just share it.
All right. Because it's got my email address and stuff. So give me 1 second.
Mike, I feel like you're a little butthurt from that thing. Are you okay?
Me?
Yeah.
Butthurt from what?
Like that he didn't you were such a big fan, and then he.
No. That's exactly what I want him to be him. I thought that was great.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, no, if he would have fucking all of a sudden turned into Mr. Nice Guy and it would have shattered my image. He was perfect.
He's the best. He makes me laugh. You ready?
Yeah.
Here we are. These are the fans. You guys are the new fans. We want to appreciate you and let you know that we know you here and thank you. So thank you, Autumn Smith.
Come on, Autumn.
Autumn Smith.
Tonight you should try. You should try.
Jason Hitchfield.
Hirschfield.
Nick Goldman. Forrest Powell. Kyle Parkman. John Lindsay DeBeck,
Can't help you there.
Melissa Peters, Christopher Consentino, Brandy Lawson, Nicole Paganato,
Pignata.
Matt Glockler,
All right.
Alex, Kathy Glennon,
Yes.
Jordan Rosell, Kyle Blake DeBute,
Blake DeBout.
Stephen Britton, Chainsaw Reacts,
Or reacts.
Chainsaw Reacts, Dylan Foster, Richard Falco, Eric, Joe Marcello, Dusty Cyphers, Chad, Brad Weiss,
Weiss.
David Korn, Martin Witt, Ray Wumble. Scroll up, Mike. Not that far.
You can do
Ray
it.
Wumble, Seon Z Rage,
Ah,
Yeah.
that's impressive.
Chris Leon, Shisina Valier, Brian McKeon, Chris, Stephen Upabanksky,
Urbanski.
Mike Rendine, Chris Legibach,
Lingenbach.
Nick Matthew Martell, Sony Gabaliono,
Capilano.
John Sweeney, Don Stankos, Jose, Lou Lombardo, Kurt Dempsey, Louis Plantain,
Plant.
Christopher Martelli, Majid HD, Nick Sargent, Derek Smith, Jeff Robinson, Douglas Griffin, True Deuce, Greg Stolenberg,
Greg Stolzberg.
Daniel Rausch, Jared Altamat, Allison Whittaker, Justin Lambert, Lou Sternberg, Chad Boudreau, Matthew Romer, Monker Brown, Debbie Nicolosi, Robert Reams, John Wiggins, Brian Weiner, John Steiner, Sean
Sterner.
Ryan, Brandon Childs,
Childers.
Larry, Jason Tonking, Justin Warren, Rick Ord, Kenny, Morgan, Tony
Megan.
M,
Megan.
Megan, Tony M, Joseph Murphy, and Mark O'Neill. Thank you.
Bravo. Bravo.
Also,
my
Bobby, we have a $25 member whose name you butchered so badly he thought he never got said. So shout out to Joe Cascio.
So now you're
Joe-
going to fuck it up. Now you're going to fuck his name up. Almost
Put it
as
up for
bad.
me. Let me read it again. Where is it?
It's on my phone, but let me type it right here.
Just type it right there. Joe.
Joe.
Let me read that. Let me get that.
Casio.
Joe Cassio.
Very
Joe Cassio. Joe Cassio, $25 member. I'm going to say thank you, and to you and your family, and all the people that thank you so much for being a member and donating so much, because you can donate whatever you want, which is fantastic. That is like a fucking mega dude, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Anywho, wow,
Your-
man.
Your
Ron-
camera
Ronnie
is
B,
bothering me.
I mean, what's that?
Your camera's bothering me.
It's bothering you because I look fucking amazing.
So fucking amazing. And I look like I have a big white face. Big
Yeah,
shiny
because-
forehead.
You want my guy to help you? You want Seth to help you?
I mean, I got a loom light today. I got my round light. I'm putting a dimmer on my other lights so that I don't have to make it as
but
bright in
the
here.
round light's no good
Clearly.
because it has no light in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So it
Well, who
just
the
puts a
fuck
round
told-
light. Those are good for like those UFC things where you can see the ring around the pupil. That's what those were made for. They were made for like somebody to be right up in the camera, one light, the camera in the middle, and you're going, you know what, and blah, blah, blah. Not for what we're doing, dude. I have a
Right.
light up there. I have a light up there. the key light, wash light, and then I have my little fucking lights to separate me in the back. And of course, your camera is garbage.
New
Your camera's
camera,
garbage.
new lights, the whole
You
thing.
need
Next.
a camera. What kind of? I mean, you should get a Canon M50 if you're gonna get one.
Okay.
They're cheap. They're not that expensive, and it shoots in 4K. You only need 1080, and you hook it up, and you have your mesh well. You go right out from the camera into the computer. You're fucking golden, dude. You're gonna look like $1 million, and it's gonna change everything. Then you're gonna. I'll teach you how to do your ISO and your you know, a few other things you got to change, and then you just set it and forget it. Turn the camera on, don't touch shit, put your lens back on. When you sit down, you look like a fucking $1 million, like your boy Bobby looks right now.
I can't believe you're in such a good mood today.
I'm in a great mood today. You know, I actually have been reading, you know, look, I'm in the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I've been reading my little book here. And I read a great chapter on taking personal inventory, which is a good thing. You know, some people, look, here's the thing. Some people know how to just, you know, deal with shit or let shit go. Right.
Yes.
And then there's people like me, and, you know, my thinking gets twisted, and I have to have certain things that untwist the shit that I think about. That's why I have food addictions. When food makes me forget, okay? So if I can go eat shitty, or I can have something to look forward to, like a pizza, or, you know, stuff in my fat face with shit, whatever shitty feelings I have, I can suppress with the good feeling of what's coming or what I'm going to do. And then usually you'll pass out with food or drugs or alcohol or whatever. And then you'll feel shitty again, and you have to do it all over again just to keep those feelings down. But, you know, being that an alcoholic, I can get rid of that shit. I don't need to have those shit feelings. Or, like I've said before, it's okay to feel bad. So when I do feel bad, it doesn't have to be the end of the fucking world. You can just I feel a little shitty today. And then, you know, of course, call somebody like you or somebody else and be like, this happened. And then people are like, blah, blah, and make you feel better. And then, of course, my other saying, let it go and let God, whoever your God is. Your God could be Jesus Christ, Moses. It could be a light bulb. It can just be the universe, whoever the fuck it is. Just let it go. So, you know, now that I've been going to these meetings a lot and actually doing the work, which Ronnie talks about doing the work, I feel more in control, or I feel more in control of my headspace than I have been.
By the way, I thought that was a very honest answer from Ronnie, where he said that he, you know, basically he's not going out because he doesn't want to trip up. I mean, that was basically it. He doesn't want to put himself in a position where he can relapse after all these years.
And he fucking, you know, it's a weird thing. He likes his life.
Yeah. I love my life. I love my life. The other day I felt like I was on cocaine. I was in such a good mood, and I've never done cocaine, but I had energy. I was so proud of my kids. My wife was being cool. I was like, this is fucking, like, I love my life, but I still want to do more shit. Yeah.
I mean, look, I still want to do more shit too. But here's another thing, you know, I really do love, you know, guys like Ronnie and that era of guys, but it's also a different era of guys. I mean, we're not in the same, we grew up in a different world, you know? So what's Patrice used to say all the time, what's good for you is good, you know, but not for me. Yeah.
Pete is very much like you, my best friend, Pete. He doesn't really give a shit what everybody else is doing. He has to do what's good for him and what makes him happy. That's how. Yeah. And no matter how different it is or how much you think he looks like a pussy or whatever, he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I care. Like, you know, I care. It's also weird too, because you have to, every person in your life, I found out, like, even during this pandemic, there's only a couple people that are in my life that I really give a fuck about, or I have time to give a fuck about right now.
Yes.
Truly.
That's
because
true.
I had so many more people 3 months ago, 4 months ago, that were in my life taking up space and time in my brain and even physical time in my day, that it's like I just don't have time for those people anymore. I don't have time for that bullshit anymore. And if what you're bringing to the table is going to cause me fucking stress or anxiety, and somehow that's going to be taken, it's going to go into my wife and my kid, or even people that I give a fuck about, I can't allow you in. You got to go. You got to go.
I agree with that. And that's healthy. That's a very healthy way.
Yeah. And some of those people aren't bad people. They're not, like I'm saying, some of those people are really good people. They're good people for them.
Right.
And maybe somebody else. But for who I am, it's not good for me. It's not healthy because of what my things are. So
smart.
Oh,
By the way, weighed in today.
Oof. Do you want some? I wish I had. I'm going to be getting a mixing board with some sounds that I can throw in.
Don't ruin it with sounds.
I'll do some drum rolls.
Whoop.
No, unless you had elephant noises, it doesn't make sense.
That's true. I can make an elephant noise. Oh, shit.
Better breathe in a bag.
Oh, no.
Right? If you died making elephant noises, I would be sad, but I would also be happy.
That hurt. That hurt my head. I shouldn't have done that. That was not worth it. Oh, my God. All right, let's make a sound. Ready, Mike? Mush, what do you got?
I'm in the jungle.
Well, the elephant's in the jungle. What is Mike? What do you weigh?
I will tell you that I'm down 18.2 pounds in 2 weeks.
You weigh 342 pounds.
Okay.
How much do you weigh?
More than that.
340 pounds.
You don't know the difference between more or less.
No.
We'll worry about that later.
How much?
I'm not
Why are you
you.
not telling us how much
I'll
you weigh?
I'll tell you when it's done.
So in a year?
No. I'll tell you. So my brother and I, we both go to the same place. We both started at the exact same weight. We both lost the exact same amount of weight in 2 weeks. We have a bet. And the first one to win the bet flies the other one out to Vegas for a week. We can sit on the same side of the plane when we finally go to Vegas.
I want that played every time we intro Mike at the beginning of the show. I want that sound up.
I like the third one. I was just tired.
That's you walking through a mall. That's all I hear.
I actually think I'm more of a hippopotamus than an elephant.
No.
Hippopotamuses are also slow moving and lazy, but they have
hippopotamuses are fucking fast as shit
when they want to be. But for the most part, they're like laying in the mud, chilling the fuck out. I'm about to eat a fucking zebra.
First of all, you're a nonchalant elephant. There's no way you're not an elephant.
Okay.
You are an elephant. If
Is that a rhino?
It's a hippo.
Yeah, that's a hippo.
Right.
That's not you. That's not you. You're the that's you. That's you.
I like it.
Yeah, you're definitely that. Wow, what a fucking, good show. Tomorrow night we got Michael Che. And do you have a candle lit?
Not anymore. I just blew it out.
What the fuck? That's your lighting?
No. Did it get darker in here? I'm not fucking.
Why do you have?
I'm not colonial. I just had. It smells nice in my studio.
What are you, half a fucking Mary? Who lights fucking candles?
This guy, same guy who puts cream on his elbows. This guy.
Abe Lincoln lit candles.
You're a fucking Mary. You fucking like candles? What else you got going? You got incense burning?
No, I don't like the smell of incense.
What are you
But
gonna
this
do?
is very
Shut the
easy.
lights off before when we hang up, and you just sit there?
And
Yeah.
I go over all the things in the show that bothered me, and I let them go.
What bothered you today, Mike? Please.
And I gotta let it go afterwards by
Come on.
myself.
I want to know what it was. What bothered you today?
Nothing
We
today.
should do this at the end of every show.
Well, I gotta be honest with you. I thought today's show was pretty good. Nothing bothered me. I'll keep it. Mike's sudden elephant attacks.
I don't like
Bothered
that
me the
Mike
most.
became a fucking great producer in fucking like one day.
Great to.
If I asked him to do this, he would have fucking he would have froze sideways. And I'm like, Mike, get the thing. I'm looking, Bobby.
He would have said, okay, yep, I'll get it for you in a second. Okay, coming now. I'll resend it to you in a second.
Mike, Calta, you know what you got to do? You really have to do this.
Tell
You
me.
have to bring your computer up to here.
I moved it up. I'll move it up higher, but I
You
put
have
it
to go up
on.
high because I'll
Do
tell you
know what
why
it's
when
on
you
right now?
when
You
you were
know,
talking to
yeah.
when you were talking to Ronnie, this is your look.
No, here's why. I'll tell you why. Because it's on speaker view. I don't have it on speaker view. Hey, fucker. I'll make you laugh. Diggy diggy. I was watching him.
How did you know that would make me laugh?
Yeah, I know. I was watching
Number
him.
one
So
friend.
this is me watching you.
Yeah, you look like you're looking down.
I am though.
But if
You're
you
at the
look up-
bottom.
but
Now I
look-
can't
but if
see you.
That look, yeah, but if you put your computer up to there,
Okay. No, so you know what
when
it's
we
on
get
right
your
now?
other camera, you're gonna be able to look right into the fucking lens.
You know what? This is on the full DVD, the DVD of the full series of The Wire. That is what my computer is on right now.
Really? Where's your computer? What the fuck? Oh, Mike just left.
I just got the best text message from Pete.
What was it?
So my buddy Pete owns a boutique car dealership where he sells like Ferraris and shit to athletes.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of offices. Yeah, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the listeners. You got to reset every time.
No, I'm sorry. I
Jeez.
apologize.
You're not even paying attention. You're fucking texting somebody.
No, I was looking at the
Hey.
Patreon because Mike left. I wanted to make sure that the Patreon people are fucking. Looks like Mike has Joey holding a spotlight on him.
Oh, my son.
Yeah. Well, the lights. We're gonna fix all that. Don't worry
We'll
about
get it all. We'll get it all dialed in.
Yeah,
What was I saying?
you look great every show. Better and better each show. I mean, not
What
as
was-
good as me, but you're getting there.
What was I saying? I was totally in the middle of something.
Talking about Pete and his exotic car dealership for rich people.
So nobody's ever in his office except for him and maybe one other guy, and he's got like 12 offices and conference rooms and all this shit in this building. So he calls me up one day. This is like 2 years ago, and he goes, "I got a chiropractor who's going to come to us. He'll come here. You pay him, and he'll come here." My back was really bad. I was like walking over, hunched a little. So I went there. The guy fucking straightened me out. I immediately wrote him a check for the next 12 visits. I said, "Perfect. Fucking, I'll be here every Tuesday at noon." Next Tuesday at noon, he canceled. And then he fucking moved and went to another state. I was like, I told Pete, I'm like, I'll go find him. I'll go beat him up in his next client's office.
You were like, what?
I was like, I'll go find him. You're welcome.
Sorry.
So I kind of let it go. And Pete just texted me, "What's your PayPal?" And I told him, and he goes, "I finally tracked down that fucking chiropractor. He's paying you back today." Fucking, he's been chasing him for 2 years.
2 years.
2 years.
That's fucking crazy. How much money did you get back?
Oh, it's like $500.
No shit.
I paid everything up front like a fucking moron.
Oh my God. Chiropractors are fucking scams.
Then I got duped yesterday. You want to hear this? You'll appreciate
Oh, I
this.
love dupes.
as an
Yeah,
addict?
Tell me. Yeah.
So I get a call from an acquaintance that I have. I don't want to say who he is. I don't want to rat out his family's good people. He's an acquaintance, though. I don't really hang out with him. I wouldn't say he's a friend. And he's had some bad times. He's been out of work for a little while. And he also had cancer real bad, but he beat it. And then it came back. And he's like one of those guys.
Yeah.
So he hits me up yesterday. He goes, "Hey, I hate asking you this, but is there any way you could lend me $100? I've been out of work for 7 weeks, and it was my wife's birthday, and I was like, yeah, of course I'll do it. And then immediately hit me back with, do you think you can make it 150? And I was like, okay, 100, 150. And I'm like, some's fucking fishy. And he's like, all right, I'll come by your house because he knows where I live. He's like, I'll come by. I was like, well, I'm busy, so I'll just give it to you, you know. So he came by. I met him at the door. I gave him the money. Thank you so much. Yeah, all right, we've all been there. Don't worry about it. Take it. But it didn't sit right with me. So then I started thinking, I'm like, I bet you that motherfucker's on drugs. So I called around and I asked a couple people, I'm like, you know this guy? Yeah. Is he getting bad news? Drugs? Yeah. I was like, I fucking knew it. Then right as I was doing the research, he hits me up. Is there any way I could borrow another 100? My prescription came in for, I was like, fuck off. I wrote back. I was like, dude, I'm not a fool. I know drugs when I see it. I said, just get help and leave me the fuck alone. Why? I would never do drugs. And I swear over my children, I've never done drugs and this, that, and anything. I don't know where you're getting this. Then by the end of the conversation was, well, I used to do drugs, but I went to therapy and I'm good now. And I was like, just get help, buddy.
Did he look like he was on drugs?
No, but I don't know what kind of drugs he's doing. Could be coke. If he was on coke, then yeah. Could it be, he didn't look like he was on painkillers. You know what I mean?
You know, giving people money when they need it, to me, is always a fucking, you know, I like to give and I have given, but it's always it's always, you know, it's like when you're giving that money, it's like, all right, I'm going to give this much, and whatever they do with it or whatever it's for, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, I gave somebody $500, whatever, a year ago. And it's
I know what you're talking about.
You know?
I do.
Okay. Well, it's just
I won't say.
It's like, you know what? I'm going to do this, but I'm only going to do it once, and I don't want it back, but I don't want to hear about it, and, you know, whatever. And everybody else is calling, do you know that fucking guy, and blah, blah. And I'm like, listen, you had the choice not to do it. You don't have to do it. If you don't got it, don't do it. But if you're going to do it, what he does with that is not your it's not your problem. It's not your money anymore.
Right.
You know, it's just, I mean, there's so many fucking people. Like, I remember Dawn knew somebody in Boston. This girl pretended she had cancer, shaved her head, had people drop her off for chemo, and she didn't have shit. She raised $20,000 at a benefit, got fucking fake tits and a new car.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I found out that this guy was arrested in December of last year for wearing his old fireman shirt and carrying a boot on the median trying to collect change from people. And they busted him for being a fucking phony, but I didn't know about it until yesterday.
What, carrying like a fireman's boot? Or
yeah, like you know, they stand on the median with the boot and they collect money.
Yeah.
He was wearing an old fireman shirt and a boot and a hat, and he went out there and was collecting money for his probably his drug habit.
Motherfucker, man. Wow.
But it's the best lesson you can learn from Bronx Tale. When that guy's chasing that guy down for $20 and he says to him, you like that guy? He goes, no. He goes, for $20, he's out of your life forever.
Yeah, I know, but that's not really true either.
And in some cases, this guy was an acquaintance. Now I know he's a fucking asshole. He's a drug addict. He's a piece of shit because he lied to me. And last thing I said to him, I said, do yourself a favor. Don't show up at my house. And that's it. And I'll never see that guy again.
You'll see him again.
I don't think I will.
Really?
Yeah, I don't fuck around. Like, people know, especially at my house. Like, this is where I can kill you and get away with it. I mean, I'm not trying to be a tough guy. I like to play a tough guy, but I'm not. I'm kind of a big pussy. But I will shoot you because I got my kids here. And I will go to jail, and I will kill you to go to jail. And, you know, protect them. I'm not worried about it. So show up at my house at the wrong time, at the wrong door. Done.
What if they showed up at your house at the right time, at the right door?
Then you may leave. Here's the thing. I have live guards at 2 entrances to where I live. And
I didn't hear what you just said.
I have live guards. Like, you have to check in with the guard before they let you in.
Oh, at the gate, not the house.
No.
I thought you had a little shack with the dude up in front of your house.
Well, it's a dude in the shack, but he's for everybody.
Yeah, and they are a pain in the ass because I've tried to get in.
Yeah, they don't fuck around.
No, they don't fuck around, and it bugs me.
So if you're here and
Yeah.
I didn't let you in, there's already a problem.
Yes.
So that's it.
Do you like those community living things? And isn't it like kind of like old folk? Do you feel like, do you like living in that shit?
The only thing that I have that has to do with the community is the guard. Once I'm in, it's just a regular house. Like I don't have none of the
Do they have
houses.
do they have a pool and volleyball courts and all that shit you could go use?
There is a private golf club, a private membership club here. Like it's not like a main where you go drop your rent check off every month and you could also use the pool. It's not one of those places.
But could you go use the pool at the golf place?
No, I'm not. If I was a paying member,
Oh, you
But
so you
not.
can't go. How much is it to be a member?
it's like $500 a month. But I don't need anything. I have a gym and a pool. I don't need anything and I hate golf.
Right.
So I don't need to go over there fraternize with those dudes. You know who runs this place? Larry King's son, Larry King
No
Jr.
shit.
Yeah,
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
yeah.
Wow.
And everybody's maybe I am more like Bennington than I thought. Everybody's like, "You gonna come meet Larry?" I was like, "No, thanks."
Yeah, he that was a good interview, man. I mean, a good show, I would say. You don't really interview Bennington.
I wanted to, but he didn't want that to happen.
He didn't. He really didn't. But I mean, he doesn't like that shit. He doesn't like that
That's
shit.
where he's vulnerable. He doesn't want to be vulnerable.
Yeah, I mean, I had him up at the shed. I mean, everybody who's a member of the Patreon, if you go to the website under Live from the Shed, I believe it's under there. Bennington came up here.
But
And
I bet
actually,
you
somebody commented that it was the most vulnerable he's ever been in an interview.
really.
Yeah, you know that there's something about being in the shed, just hanging out talking, where you just you forget that you're being recorded and it's just two people. So there is something about that show that does chill people out. Yeah, but it was great. He told me a lot of stuff. I mean, you know, it's weird though because he kept saying comedy's not. You never know when he's you never know when he's being funny, or he's being serious, or he's joking around. Because when he's like, comedy's never coming back, it's like,
That's why he is the master. Because
Yes.
he's got you wondering, he's got you mentally fucked up wondering, is he being
Yes.
serious? Is he making fun of me? Is he
Yes.
testing me? Or is he just being genuine? You never fucking know.
Yes, I know. Well, that's why he's not number one. He's not.
I'm
the number
sincere
one
with
fan.
you. You're my buddy.
He's most sincere with me. Most sincere. We have a great relationship and a great friendship, and I'm very happy for it. Not to get too queer, but there you go. I don't know. Well, so there we go, people. I guess that's the end of the show.
Now, tomorrow, Michael
Yes.
Che is going to be on the show. What is the percentage of success of that happening?
I would say 100 right now. I would, you know.
You know him? You have a relationship with him?
Hey, you want me to text him right now?
No.
Why not? I'll text him right now.
Just, fucking show off.
What? What does that mean? Why am I show off?
I'm going to get Colin Jost on the show.
Who's that? How do you spell Michael?
Michael.
I'm kidding.
It's not an easy name to spell.
Because it's very. What'd you call me?
I didn't call you anything. Easy, Fred Norris.
Oh, that makes me laugh. Here we go. I'll get an answer right now. Tomorrow night at here we go. 7.
This is cool. This is this section of the show where Bobby texts people and we can't see it. Where we just sit and wait. Meanwhile, I have to pee like a fucking racehorse.
Right.
Sitting here drinking water, burning fat for an hour.
Yeah, are you getting itchy? Are you hungry?
No, I just really have to fucking pee.
All right, well, let's end it. Let's
Well,
end it, buddy.
Don't say it like that. Say it like, God, it's the end. It's the end.
Well, what do you mean like that? Uh-oh.
I knew it.
How many
God.
Patreon members are we up to? Do you want to know?
I want to
He's
know.
in, dude. I just got his email.
All right.
We're in, baby.
I have a weird picture of him and my wife. You're not listening to me.
I hope it's weird. I hope it's in a bedroom.
It's not,
Nope.
but he gave her the like the once over.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, take a picture of my wife. It was her birthday. And he took it, but I think he felt like there might have been some sort of white
Vibe.
guy, big black cuckold thing happening, and there wasn't.
Why? Because you had what'd you have on, like a affliction shirt with some True Religion jeans?
No, not at all.
Anytime I see a middle-aged guy with an affliction shirt
Or
some-
Robert
some-
Graham collar turned up.
yeah, right. Or some jeans with like a dragon sewed in the butt. It's like, dude, that guy lets guys fuck his wife.
For sure.
Oh, you let her pull titties out whenever. You know what I mean?
It was one of the reasons why I decided to marry my wife, is because she told me she went to New Orleans for Mardi Gras. And I go, so what are you, showing your tits for beads? And she goes, oh, I would never do that. And I was like, you're the marrying kind. Don't get me wrong.
remember.
Ladies should show your tits at Mardi Gras. We love you too. We're just not fucking married.
Yes, we love you too. We just
we'll fuck the shit out of you, but you're never meeting our moms.
When I met Dawn, my real father called her a peach.
She is a peach.
He said, she's a peach. You got to keep that one.
Which real father? The one that we saw
The
the
real
picture
one.
of?
Well, the biological.
So you did know him for a little while?
Yeah, I knew him as a kid growing up when I was getting all abused and shit like that. We would hang out. He would pick us up once a month or some shit like that, take us out. And then when I got sober, I connected with him and I made amends. He was part of my fourth step.
So why don't you talk to him now?
And then we became friends again. And then when my sister needed a kidney, I remember he got mad at her and wrote her a letter. Supposedly my mother said this. My mother called me up and, look, I love my mom, but she's like a typical mom. She could be a troublemaker. And, he sent her a letter and she never liked him. She didn't like that I liked him. She didn't like that we had a relationship. And, she said he wrote a letter and kind of said that, to my sister, the only time you ever call me or is when you need something from me. And it's like, dude, this isn't Christmas. This isn't a birthday gift. This is a kidney.
Yeah,
You're
you need
one
to
of
borrow
the
$50.
your side of the family has your blood runs through this fucking chick's veins. So you're a match. You're more likely to be a match in your side of the family than anybody else. This isn't the time for that horse shit.
Can I ask you a question? So how's your sister?
She needs a kidney.
Okay, so I don't know your sister.
My sister right now has to go to dialysis 4 times a week and have her blood fucking. And
let me ask you a question. If I said to you, my sister needed a kidney and you're a match, would you give it to her? Okay, let me rephrase that. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. All I was saying was, if I've never met your sister, and if you told me tomorrow, hey, do this thing, and if I was a match, I would give your sister a kidney in a second. I've never even fucking met her.
Yeah,
Not
but you would have.
you.
Wait a minute, stop. You say that, but you don't know anything what it entails. You'd
do.
be out of work. You'd be out of work for 6 months.
No.
Okay.
No,
Yeah,
that's not true. Not if you're a donor.
The donor in a kidney, I believe, is worse than the actual recipient.
The guy who I work with a guy named Kevin, soul brother Kevin, and he found out. He found out he needed a kidney, and he got one from a listener who was a perfect match for him. And the listener gave up his kidney for him, and that guy was fine. That guy was right back to work.
Yeah, but he was out of work for a while.
Not a long time. Not 6 months.
So you would be out of work for how long? A month.
My whole point is.
I'm just asking. My point is this.
No.
You would.
No, I would lay in hospital bed and I would do my show from the bed.
But you would do your show from the. So let's test you tomorrow. If you're the right blood match, we can get you in here.
I would do it tomorrow. And not even because of our friendship. I just can't believe that I might be able to save somebody else's life. And it's not as easy as saying, like, your father's a dick for not doing that.
I understand it, but here's the thing: he did go in and get tested. He's
Oh, he
not a
did?
match.
Okay.
Yeah, and he
He's
found
still
that
a-
he had Hep C, and that's why he was mad.
See what
But
you did? You made me
story-
find out I had a disease.
Well, it was a weird. The story doesn't track. You know, my mom got me at a point where I was very vulnerable because of my sister. I was like, you know, like I have that joke in my act about it. You saw me do that,
Yeah.
where I was like, you know, whatever she needs, I'm there. My mother was like, good, tomorrow you have a doctor's appointment. I was like, well, look, we don't really talk. You know what I mean? It's like we're more friends than brother and sister right now, you know, but you know, we all went in.
Do you know when you give someone, when you get a kidney from somebody, they don't take the old one out?
Yeah.
The one that failed, they leave it in there.
Yeah. She still has it. Yeah.
That's crazy shit.
It's crazy. And her other kidney, she doesn't have, I mean, she's done. I mean, you know, she needs a kidney right now because, you know, her life is just, it's been years. Her life is just deteriorated. So
what's the registry like? How do we find out?
You have to, that's a good question. I had a lisaskidney.com and we had a thing you could fill out. But now I think it's a weird thing because you can't just say, you would have to come up here, go to the place she goes to, give blood and get tested. And if you matched, then you'd have to be up in Boston for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which,
look, it's an inconvenience, but if you're saving somebody's fucking life, I believe that you should be more willing to do it.
look, I went in and I wasn't a match, so I would have done it.
Well, you like, thank God.
I do it. I mean, I do it right now. But if your sister, do you have a sister?
I do.
You have a sister?
How little you know about my family.
I'm kidding.
You've met my sister.
I know I've met your sister. If your sister needed a kidney, would I give it to her? If you said, buddy, my sister's going to die, I would sit down. It wouldn't be as easy as me going, yeah, I'll fucking do it. I'd have to talk to my wife. I'd have to be like, look, I'm going to have to go down there and be with them. You have to come down with me. We'd have to set something up where we live at your house to recover. And Mike, you know what I mean? It would have to be at a certain, you know, maybe this summer or whatever. So yeah, I would do it. But I would want you to go through a whole list of other people first. I would want you to.
This would be a great idea for a movie.
What?
I convince you to give the kidney and then you just won't leave my house. And every time I ask you to leave, you're like, I give you a fucking kidney. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. My wife's like, get him out. I'm like, you gave a kidney. You live here for
that's kind of what happened. The next door neighbor, Neil, I never really liked the guy. And then she gave her the kidney and he was at every fucking function, every party, every barbecue. There's Neil. And I was like, ah, fucking cucksucker. He gave your sister. I was like, all right, I know. But what am I supposed to just fucking instantly like the guy? We don't get along. Yeah. He's that type of guy that we don't get along. I know he gave my sister life. Good for you. I appreciate it, but it doesn't change the fact that I think he's a dildo, you know? But you're not supposed to think like that or talk like that. And that Hollywood Bob would have been like, hey, Neil, you know, and buried it. But cocksucker Bob lets everything out. But
I wouldn't give Mush a kidney.
Mush looks like a kidney.
I know I'm going to have to give Bert part of my liver one day.
Now that my uncle gave my other uncle a liver. Now that hurts.
It hurts?
That liver is bad. Yeah, liver's not as easy as a kidney, I don't think.
They just take a piece of it, I thought.
The piece of it, yeah, but it fucks you up. They were both fucked up for a while. You know, and you'd be the last person. What's going on with Bert? Why has Bert not been on? I mean,
I talked to him today.
And you don't and what's going on?
Yeah, because he did Chip.
Well, I mean, what the fuck, Mike?
Here's the deal.
Why don't you just be honest?
Me?
Yes.
I'll be very honest right now. I don't give a shit. I asked him. He said he would do it. I put it out there a couple of times. He didn't respond. So fuck it. I mean, I'm not mad at him. He doesn't want to do it. He's busy, whatever. I got other shit to do. I just don't care. That's honest.
You're not telling me something.
What? He said he didn't like you. And if I was doing it with anybody else, he would do it.
Oh, that's honest. That makes more sense.
It's also a lie.
That makes more sense.
Well, it's a lie. He didn't say he loves you.
Look, Hollywood Bob is, to each his own.
There you go, Hollywood Bob.
It's a big world out there, and I'm sure we can all live in it.
There you go.
Yeah?
You
So
got it.
today, beware of your anger, your fears, and your frustrations so you don't wake up tomorrow with an emotional hangover. It's okay to say sorry.
Don't go to bed with an itchy butt. You'll wake up with a smelly finger. Same thing.
It's not the same thing.
Only same thing.
All right, let's go. Tomorrow, Michael Che, you're going to pee now. Mush is going to go.
Oh, I can't.
to
My
the
kidneys
cellar.
are failing right
Hey,
now. It's been too long.
Mush, who is on the cellar tonight?
Fanoia, Danny Cohen, Todd Berry, Louis Katz, Matt Kirshen, and Esty.
You look like
Oh.
Billy Joel.
Billy Swole.
Do you like the way? Oh, I was gonna say you like the way I said it. And I didn't include any insults, and then he chimed in
Swole
with
means
Billy
strong,
Swole.
though. Swole means two
Billy
words.
Swole.
That's swole in.
I just said Billy Joel.
All right, listen, man. Look at Mike. I love when you could sit here all night.
Me?
Oh, before we go,
Yeah.
someone asked, when are you guys getting T-shirts made?
Oh, fuck off.
What the fuck is wrong
No,
with
people
you?
want to ask you about merch.
That's merged. We're fucking. What are we? A flea market? Come buy our T-shirts. Nah.
You can set them up on Teespring. You don't got to do anything else. I mean,
I
Why
know.
you-
It's fucking.
Why, Mike Mush? Why don't you put some merch up for us?
Don't do it, Mush.
you
Don't
can
do
get
it.
stickers made pretty quickly.
Stickers are fine. You give those away for free.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
Mush, you make some merch.
Don't do it.
Okay,
Mush.
I'll get with Joe, and we'll
I'll
get
sue
some
you.
stuff
I
done.
own all the logos. I will sue you.
You don't own the new logo.
I did. I filed the paperwork the minute I got it.
I already have the paperwork.
No, you don't. Trust me. I
Yeah,
already
I do.
researched it. You'll find out that I'm all business. Ask Tom Brady how much he had to give me to keep Tampa Bay.
All right. Well, we'll donate the money to people who need it. How's that?
People with
Who have kids-
sons who don't
Yes.
work and have sisters who have kidney problems. That's the group we're going
Yes.
for.
Yes, we'll do that.
That guy with the fire boot.
Luis Gomez podcast merch. What the fuck? Yeah.
Oh, we got ashtrays. We got mugs.
I remember he told me, dude, we're doing the merch. We're going to have the greatest merchpump.com. It's going to be the best. It's direct to garment. No one does it like us. Okay, cool. Here's a shirt. I've never heard from him again.
Yeah.
I've never gotten any money from him. I've never heard. I don't know how much money they made. I don't know how much shirts. They don't promote it. I mean, it's fucking nuts. And then we did the Remember to Be Happy. I haven't heard from her in fucking months.
Look
I don't know
what
how
I
many.
did.
Huh?
Look what I did. You know what I did? I bought bags with our logo on it.
Yeah.
Bags. So when
Yeah,
I
what
send
are you
you
gonna-
shit,
Yeah.
I send you shit, it'll be in a bag that I paid for with my picture on it and Bobby's picture on it. There you go. Not going to charge you an extra 10 cents for the fucking bag either.
How many? Is that one bag? You only got one bag?
It was like 3 of them right there.
How many bags do you got?
100 of them.
100. Ooh.
100 of them. I plan on sending shit out.
So let's send some stuff out.
I'll make bumper stickers, koozies, all the things you kids.
Why
can
would you
use.
make a bumper sticker? Nobody has a
Not
bumper.
I call them bumper stickers with the little round stickers with our logo on them. People put that
Yeah.
shit on stuff. Put it on
Let's
your
make a coffee mug.
tumbler.
Yeah, I can
Let's
get
make
that
a small one.
You know why I have these tumblers?
Why?
I'm a guy who doesn't sell shit to his audience. I have these tumblers because Tervis gave me like 300 of them to give away. So I said, okay, I'll give them away. And I didn't
I
sell
want that one.
You do.
I want one like that.
Well, for $50. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. If I do, you can have one.
All right, man. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Goodbye, my friends. Enjoy your night. Michael Che, we were coming for you tomorrow.
Calta and Kelly tomorrow night.
Follow us on
1,000 pounds of
Instagram.
funny.
Instagram.
Calta and Kelly, and on Facebook, Calta and Kelly. How many people do we got on Instagram? Did we do the 1,000?
No, we're like 950 something. It's fucking
Are
bullshit.
you sure?
It's bullshit.
Are you sure?
No, but it's bullshit.
What do you mean it's bullshit? What do you want?
Because it's ridiculous that it's been over a week and there's not over
still-
1,000 people already.
It's actually still-
982.
It's 982. We're very close.
It's bullshit.
Come on, guys. Tell your friends.
If Brendan Sagalow has more than I do, I'm gonna shit my pants. 5,428 for that little fucking Campbell soup face bitch.
Oh my God.
Most of that's because Amy interrupted his show that one time. So
Whoa.
How much does Greg have? Greg Stone's got 4,837 people, and who the fuck heard of that guy?
I love Greg Stone.
Greg's
Why would
awesome.
you say that? Why are you turning on people?
the real question is, why do I have more than Calta and Kelly? That's
By the way, I love Greg Stone. That was not a knock against him.
Well, you just said, who the fuck is that guy? That's a
Right.
knock against somebody in the show
No,
business.
it's who the fuck is that guy to have more followers than us? It makes me mad. Jealousy. It's not a knock on him. I'm jealous.
Well, why don't wake up with an emotional hangover tomorrow.
Or a smelly finger.
A smelly finger is no good.
I'm glad we agree.
I love you, buddy. I'll talk to you tomorrow. See you later, Mush.
Hi guys.
They're number one best friends, almost 1,000 pounds of funny. They're here to entertain you, not because Bobby needs the money. In this place you'll laugh right down from your belly. So get in here, you half a queer. It's time for Calta and Kelly.